Do I do enough of an intro? Hi, and welcome to my podcast. I'm Naomi, and this is NJ Knits, where I talk about my knitting. So, it was my birthday yesterday, and I have to admit that I'm gonna have to go ahead and give up on this concept of having a year out of stash. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, Holly and I have once tried to train for a marathon, and we gave up on that after a few months. So sometimes you make plans and goals and concepts and you give up on them, and that's okay. But I have a horrendous quantity of acquisitions to show you today. I have a couple finished objects and I think I'm missing one. Just a second. And yeah, a couple finished objects, I think 3 finished objects, a hoe, and then some whips to talk about, and some planned future cast-ons. So let's get started with comments. Okay, so this comment made me smile so much. It's from Michelle M, and she says, "So much in this episode. Where to start? Your rose quartz sweater is awesome! Your welcome to the jungle sweater's coming along nicely. I'm trying to resist casting one on for my niece who would absolutely love it. Michelle, you should. And then you're going to surpass me and go much faster than me. And I will be very proud." Your mum is going to absolutely love the beautiful sweater that you made for her. Waiting while you count yarn piles. Great intermission. Haha. Most of all, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. Thank you so much, Michelle. That is very, very kind of you, and I think you should cast on a Welcome to the Jungle, because why not? So, speaking of the things I made my mum, I made her the jumper that you saw last week, the Any Day sweater, by Lily Kate, and I think she will like it. I hope she'll like it. My sister was like, I don't see her in that shape, but I think it'll be fine. So, I'm going to tell you about the other 2 finished objects that I have from this cashmere yarn that I got from my mum. I got this on eBay, this yarn, and I stupidly didn't save the tag, and it's hand spun and hand dyed by a woman in Scotland. So here's one. This was the end of my yarn chicken. So this was actually the 3rd one I made. So the first one I made I showed you last week because it was finished. So I should maybe show you in order. Here's the 2nd one I made. And this I constructed slightly different from the pattern. There's actually quite a lot of modifications on this one to the original pattern. One being that I didn't make separate cups and overlap. I just made it look like there's two separate cups. I made it a single cup with this slip stitch cable along the edge, which I think I learned from the lines scarf pattern that I did a long time ago with the Angora. I learned that concept of doing like a slip stitch and a cable. And so I made this look like it's a wrapped situation, but it's not, so it's not doubly thick. I'm not sure how great this lighting is. Let's see if that's any better. Is that better? So, the one thing that bugs me about this is where I picked up along here kind of pokes out right at the nipple, whereas on this side it's a nice bend. So this corner could be treated with more delicacy, for sure. I also did the straps in the way that the pattern called for, which was a slip stitch on either side, but it's ribbing, just 5-stitch ribbing with a slip stitch on the side. So it creates a really soft strap and a really nice looking strap. It's very neat, and it doesn't really look like ribbing. And I just made them, and then I just sewed them onto the back because I think that's a neater look than trying any kind of grafting situation. I did, however, pick up the stitches to put the straps on here. And I think that turned out all right. It looks pretty good. They're not perfectly identical, but this is the one that I plan to keep for myself, and I'll show you some pictures of me wearing it. Again, this is a modified version of the day and evening bra by Sport and Evening Bra by, who's it by? Well, from the book The Urban Knitter. It's by Lori Monaco. That's it. Lori Monaco or Lori Monaco, as you choose. So that's what it is. And then this is such a heavily modified version that one could argue that it's not even the Sport and Evening Bra, although it kind of is. So I'll put this on my head here so you can see. This is what it looks like. This one is, actually this was the second one I made, to be honest. I just didn't finish it until the end. So this one is like the first one in that I made two separate cups, and then I connected them, but I just connected them with stockinette and then did as much stockinette as I could and did a 3-needle bind off. So I finished these cups first, and then I did the strap, I think, and and then I finished this bra so that I would just use whatever's left over to make as long of a hem as I could, because I was just going to do a rolled stockinette hem, and it didn't turn out to be long enough. Obviously, it's very short, and rolled over it makes it even tinier, and it's also too big. So what I plan to do is just get a piece of elastic, a thick piece of elastic, sew it on two sides so that it kind of just like sits like this. It's not a and then the elastic, because this basically is the circumference. Let's actually see if it's the circumference of my bust, because I think it is. It's just that there's no negative ease whatsoever, and obviously for a bra you want negative ease, so that's the issue. So I think if I just attach an elastic in, I will get some negative ease and all will be well. This one I think I'm gonna give to my mom. Yeah, this is exactly the circumference, so it's not too big for my bust. It's exactly my bust circumference. So obviously that's a problem because it's exactly the circumference, and so there's nothing like cinching it on. It doesn't need a lot to cinch on because, like I said, these cups are formed really well, so they kind of cinch on their own, and then the strap is the right length. But it will just be better with just a little bit of elastic right here, and the elastic will stretch, and that will create that negative ease that the garment itself does not have. So yeah, a little cashmere bikini for you. I'll show a picture of this on me as well. And in those pictures, you will see my third and final finished object for you, which is my Light Summer Shorts by Holly C. Watson. Couple things I did differently on this. One, I didn't get gauge, so I didn't go down needle size. These are way too big for me. But I wanted them to be loose and light. The other thing I did was that I didn't follow the pattern. I was supposed to have stopped increasing for the legs quite some time ago, but I wanted to finish this color before I started the legs, and that was a mistake. Because obviously once I'd actually tried it on, when I finished this color, I was done with the shorts. They were enough. So what that means is that the crotch is too long, which means I did originally make this leg like pretty long, but it was the shorts were just too long. So now they're those shorts that have like zero fabric in the crotch, which always feels a little bit scandalous to me. But once you put them on, they don't look like that, obviously. When you put them on, they're like really long. They go way down, they look like normal shorts. But weirdly, when you just see this tiny little piece of fabric that wouldn't even like be the right size for a pair of pants, you're like, that's scandalous. But anyways, if I had listened to the pattern more and I'd stopped increasing for the legs, where I was supposed to, then I would have two separate legs and not this tiny strip of fabric. But in the end, it looks fine, and it means that you can really hike these shorts up because it has a long crotch. You can wear them really high up, and that's great. They need the I-cord because they're too big for me without the I-cord, but that's okay too, because that's the whole point of the I-cord being there. So I wore these out and about with my matching top, and I went to the yarn store for my birthday, and it was fabulous. I felt like such a hero. Now, the one sad thing about these shorts is that I didn't get to use the final color in my fade. So here's the final color. It's just like the last two little rows and for the bind off. But I have almost the whole skein of the final color. This is what I'd use to make a leg of the shorts, and then immediately unwound it because it didn't work. It was too long. So I have a whole skein of this, and I haven't completed the fade yet. I'm very sad about that. I want to complete this fade. But this yarn blocks out really well. It's really soft. It's cotton, some kind of tencel, like some kind of tree fabric, plus cotton, plus linen. So it's a really nice plant fiber blend, and it feels really nice. It feels, it has a lot of structure to it, I would say, even though it is drapey, like these are drapey. The gauge on these shorts is much looser than the gauge on my Take Turns tank. I think I knit these with a 3.5, which was the like called for needle size, as opposed to a 2 mil, which is what I needed to use in order to get gauge on the Take Turns tank. So I did not get gauge with these, which is why they're very big on me. But I think I'm okay with it. I don't know. I might not be. I might have wanted something a little bit not crazy oversized and like this. But you know what? I think if it starts to really bother me, I might be okay with ripping back to like here, and then maybe doing like to here, and then maybe doing separate legs. with the yarn. I might be okay with doing that. Like, I could totally do that. But then it is still way too big on the waist, so I don't know. Well, we'll see about it. So that's my final object there. Finished object, final object. I'm already thirsty. Where did I put my water? So, next up, I had mentioned that I had my hand-dyed yarn that I dyed. This is going like, the light here is making it ever so slightly cooler than it is. Maybe this isn't the best place to podcast. I thought the lighting here was better than in the other room, but maybe it isn't. It's just not, it's kind of gray out today. Anyway, so this is my hand-dyed yarn. And surprise of surprises, turns out it's like mini stripes. I was pretty surprised about that. So I finished one of the socks for my mom. It is where is it? Do I have it here? So this pattern is called the Tipsy Toe Socks. And it is by Knitting and So On. It's a blog, it's a free pattern. And I'll link the Ravelry below. But basically, it's a sock, it's a toe-up sock, where you start here doing your cast on, and then you do wedges of short rows to kind of like go around. So you do a little bit of increasing here to get to about there. So this is like normal increasing, except you do twice as many increases here as you do here. So it creates a sharper increase. And then here is a less sharp increase. And then from there, you do these wedges of short rows. And I just thought that would be kind of cool, and I hoped it would be cool in this yarn. It turned out really cool, because this yarn turns out, again, I got this from Yarn Undyed, and it would claim to be a sock weight yarn, but to me it feels like DK. I'm just not gonna lie about it. It feels like DK to me. Like, it doesn't feel like fingering. It's a heavy sport, or it's a light DK, or it's a normal DK, honestly. And we all know how loose my gauge is, so I started following this pattern, and then I realized that my toe was going to be way too big. So I had to hop to it and decrease my stitches. So I think this is a 32. Obviously I didn't write anything down because that would have only been really helpful. I think it's a 32 stitch sock. Let's check. No, it's a 36 stitch sock, which I think is my number for DK weight socks, 36 stitches. I know, pretty crazy, right? Because my number for like normal fingering is like 52, sometimes 48. So 36 for DK. And what's kind of cool about this is that the toe and the heel sort of kind of match. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I don't know if that's what the pattern called for, because once I finished the toe, I just kind of knit a sock. I still find it kind of tricky sizing, and I didn't do the thing I have been doing with Fish Lips Kiss socks by increasing and then decreasing on a little mini gusset, and I should have done, but I didn't do that. But look at how like almost stripy these socks are from my little home dyeing experiment. There is like a tiny little bit of pooling at this like lighter purple section, which is where the two ends of the yarn combined to make this purple. So I basically just dyed one side this color, one side that color, and then the middle kind of combined and created this color. So the skein was like aqua, pink, slightly purple in the middle. And I guess because there's two sections of slightly purple, that's why it overlaps and creates this pooling, whereas there's only one big section of aqua and one of pink. I don't know. It was just random, accidental, and turned out really well. So I'll show you what this sock looks like. Maybe I should take off my other sock, I guess. I haven't woven in the ends in a very uncharacteristic Naomi move. Just because, you know, I haven't yet, but I'm just making sure that I don't want to change anything, because now these are a little bit too small for me, which is the point, because my mom's size is just a tiny bit smaller than mine. But look at that, crazy. So this toe definitely is roomy. However, my mom has a sort of a toe condition, you could say, where her toes, like she has hammer toes, so I'm thinking it might be quite good for, is that what it's called? I don't know. She has her toes like sit up. So it might be quite good to have like some room in the sock. Or what I might do is decapitate the sock and reknit the toe correctly and then graft it on, because this toe is a little bit big. But we'll see what I end up doing. I do love how the heel looks though. So yeah, look at that, my accidental stripy sock yarn that I made. I don't know how to do as loose of a bind off as I know how to do of cast on. So this bind off is not the loosest thing in the history of the world. I might try to do it again. I don't know if that's enough of a tail to redo a bind off to make it stretchier. Thoughts? Anyone? Thoughts? Socks therapist? Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know what you think if I could redo this bind off. Look at me trying to redo stuff and make it nicer. So crazy. And then here is my second sock. Now, so what happened with this one was I realized I had like way too many stitches, and so I started casting off, and I was like, decreasing, and I was decreasing in a weird way. I was like decreasing only on one side. For some reason, because I thought it was gonna like keep the shape of this weird toe. I don't really know, but in the end I decreased to the right amount of stitches. It's a little bit random. I knew I wasn't gonna repeat it because it's not very nice. So I figured at least the other one will be nicer. And who has matching feet, right? So this one, I ended up actually just making the correct number of stitches, I believe. 15, 20, 25, 30, yeah, 36. So I made this the correct number of stitches, totally on accident because I didn't check. And this is more like how it's supposed to look, not this bulbous situation. So yeah, you got these wedges that create a kind of crazy pattern on the toes, and then it gets less crazy once you get to the foot, which is a really fun idea. Check out the blog if you want to try it out. So yeah, I just need to keep going. I'm almost at the heel, I think. And then I'll have these socks finished. There's something about this aqua color that unsettles me and makes me feel less happy. So I'm happy to like almost be finished using it, and give it to my mom. I don't know what it is. I think there was a time in my life when I was wearing a lot of that color, and that time wasn't the best time in my life. And so when I see that color, it starts to like, slowly, I think, it's not like an immediate like, aqua. But I think slowly, if I start to see it all the time, it puts me back in that mental state that I was in when I was wearing a lot of that color. And it just doesn't make me feel great. So I'm kind of done with that sock yarn. I was excited at first when I saw it was like stripy and I was enjoying knitting it, and now I'm just kind of like done, which is fine. I can just knit it when I'm walking, and those will take almost no time to finish, like probably a day and a half. But I'll be excited to have it done. So I cast on a new whip, and I'm probably about to cast on another couple new whips. I might even cast one on tonight. I can't decide which one though. I should probably cast on the one I've swatched for. Boring. But anyways, I'm so excited. I'll show you my whip. I forgot to bring it. So I don't know if you, well, you do remember because I've showed you this yarn. This is the mohair. And I did actually find the label. So I'll show you. I forgot to bring it though. Again. So this is Art Yarns Mohair Ombre 2-ply. And when I originally had read 2-ply, I assumed it just meant that there were 2-ply of silk. But no, it's 2-ply of silk mohair. There's like it's two silk mohairs. It's a silk mohair held double already. 60% kid mohair, 40% silk. And apparently I have about 527 meters, which is good. Because that's about how much I need. It's by Iris Schreier. And she has a website, artyarns.com, or Facebook/artyarns. So, I finally decided what to make with it. I'm making a James N. Watts pattern that's designed to be used with Noro, the Mystic Square pattern. And I'll put an image here of the Mystic Square. I love James N. Watts. So much. I get life from James. So much life. Watching just anything. I'm so excited this is the first pattern that I've done. And I'm really excited to do it. And I will show you what it looks like. So this is a pattern, this is a tee, and it's, as I said, designed for Noro yarn. So it's not designed for mohair, but I think it's gonna look amazing. And I had just gotten it to a point where I was like, could have bound off so I could show you it more easily, but then I realized I'd done it wrong and forgotten to do the neck shaping, so I'm really upset about that. And also now it means that it's harder to show you. However, here it is. So this is a tee that's done modularly in modules. I'll just bend this down. So it's got a central panel, then there's a panel here. This panel has neck shaping, and then there's going to be another panel here, and then some paneling here. And so you just build up a tee out of these like rectangles, basically. And what that means is if you have a slow color changing yarn, it means that like your color changing is going to like go in different areas, I guess, of the squares, and it won't all be in the same place. And that's why it's designed to be used with Noro yarns, but I think it'll be really cool with this. This is even slower color changing than I think the pattern is expecting, because like this whole first square is basically just the one color. And then we're getting to red, but the transition is this like marled, it's really hard to see without something backing it. It's this kind of marled effect. It's quite a dark. And the interesting thing is it's gonna go really light. Like the end of this ball is like greens and beige and like really light pink. So I think I'm gonna have a front half of this tee that's very dark, and the back half is gonna be very light, which I think will be cool because it could be reversible. You can have, it's the same in the front and the back, so it is reversible. And you can have 2 different tees for the price of one. So I'm really enjoying knitting on this. It's so much fun because you're just doing small bits. So you just do this little thing, and then you start doing this other little thing, and then you're attaching, and there's always stuff to be doing, even though it's in itself, it's like simple, it's simple stockinette. But because you're constantly constructing, it's actually really fun the whole time. It's kind of like when people say, oh, it's a really simple pattern, but the construction's interesting. Usually what that means is like the construction's interesting for like the first like fourth of the sweater, and then the rest of the time it's pretty boring. So if you find like construction to be really fun, then this pattern, you can be doing construction the entire time as you're making the garment. The whole way through. It's all construction because you're just building and building and building and building. It's really fun. So that's my whip. I'll show you my swatch. Now, this is going to lead towards acquisitions, and that will show you some of my future plans. If you don't like acquisitions, you can probably just skip the whole section, I guess, because I'm going to be talking about plans for all these acquisitions, but you'll probably see them as concrete plans in future episodes when I'm like, I'm swatching for this. So anyways, it's all marked down below anyways. I mark like each section and what I'm talking about, so you can just like look down in the down bar and see if you want to watch those sections. So here's my swatch. I'm in love with this yarn. So this is Brooklyn Tweed Veil, which is American Rambouillet wool. Rambouillet? I don't know. Rambouillet. That's my best guess. It is sourced in Wyoming, spun in Springville, Maine, and dyed in Saco, Maine. And the color is Morel, Morel, which I think is a kind of mushroom, maybe? Or definitely isn't at all, and I've just got that wrong. So here it is. I think the lighting is decidedly bad here. I think I've made poor choices today. This is the swatch. I'm doing the same thing that a lot of people I've noticed do. I got it from someone, I think Knitting Traditions, who then got it from someone else. But you do 3 holes. That means this was 3 mil needles. This is 3 plus 1 purl bump, which is very difficult to see. And that means 3.25. And this is 3 with 2 purl bumps, which means 3.5. And this down here hasn't been blocked. I'd originally made the swatch and washed and blocked it, and then I realized that the pattern called for 3.75, not 3.5. So I thought, oh, I better try the 3.75. So I unbound off, I picked out the bind off, and I joined the yarn with spit splice, and spit splice with this yarn is like so easy to do. It's unbelievable. So this is the unblocked swatch here. And that's the blocked. So you can see how the yarn just like evens out. It softens so much. Like you can just see the drape difference. It's just like, this is like still soft and springy. The spring on this yarn, like, look, we're like eye level apart. Now we're head level. Eye level, eye width, head width, eye width, head width. It's so springy, and it's really fun to knit with. You feel like you're knitting with air because you don't really want to like pull it too much, because if you pulled it, then you'd just be like pulling the yarn and you don't want it like pulled for, I don't know. This fabric is divine. So I'm going to make the thin air sweater, and it does call for DK, and I am aware of that. But I had this new concept of, if I'm using the correct yarn and I'm knitting a gauge, I have to go from a 3.5 needle all the way down to a 2 mil needle to get my gauge. What if I went down a yarn size? And I know that theoretically this isn't supposed to work, I don't think, because you should technically get tighter gauges with thicker yarn if you go down needle sizes. It feels like it's such a hard thing for me that I thought, what if I tried that? What if I went down a yarn weight instead of going down so many needle sizes? Now, I'm aware that from DK to lace is actually going down quite a few yarn weights. I'm well aware of that. However, this was on sale, and I'd been wanting to try Brooklyn Tweed for so long, and it just was like the perfect color, and it just felt like it was going to make the perfect thin air sweater that I kind of couldn't resist. So originally, I liked the 3 mil best as far as fabric goes, but actually once you block it, the fabric of these looser ones is still really nice. It's not what you would expect a lace weight yarn knit with 3.75 needles to be. It's not like, just full of holes. It obviously is more holy than the 3 mil, but I think it's still nice. It's really thin, it's really light, and I don't want to buy a ton more yarn to make it in this tighter gauge, because then I'd have to make a bigger size. So crazily, for the first time in my life, I'm kind of a little bit almost under gauge, if not exactly on gauge. So I'm going to block this last piece and then just see what gauge I have, but I'm basically getting gauge with the correct needle size. I know, it's crazy. But that's because I've gone down 3 yarn sizes. But this, try this yarn. I can't describe to you how it feels. It's like nothing I've ever felt before. It's so soft while feeling completely, as Felena from Felena Knits would say, totally tactile. It's not soft in that like plasticky acrylic soft way. It's soft in like a really just true and honest way. It's soft in the way down is soft. Feels real, but still really soft. You could have a pillow in this, but it'd be waste of such a lovely drapey fabric. I'm in love. So this is probably what I'll cast on today. The Thin Air sweater is by Lily Kate, and it is a recent pattern of hers, and I got it as a reward for doing the Take Turns test. Take Turns Tank test. Say that 3 times fast. Take Turns Tank test. 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 I'm sorry. So here's the ball and how it looks. It's just so lovely. So I'm going to show you my acquisitions, and I'll go in order of... I'll show you one more plan. This is the last thing I brought with me. And this is my last plan. So this is a ball of yarn that I bought off someone's stash. What's it called when you get rid of your stash? Anyway, someone was like getting rid of yarn, and I got this off of them, I think from Instagram. And it's a really cool self-striping yarn. It's a hand-dyed self-striping yarn. But I've never had a self-striping yarn like this. It goes gray in between each of these 3 colors. So it's got a purple, an aqua, and a red. And in between each of the colors is gray. So it's gray, purple, gray, red, gray, aqua, gray, purple, gray. So I was like, that's really cool. And my friend whose 30th is coming up and who's been wanting socks for ages loves these colors. And he has synesthesia, so color is like a big deal to him. And his favorite color in the whole world is this purpley blue color. So I think these would make gorgeous socks for him. I kind of wanted this ball of yarn for myself, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to give it to him. So I'm really excited to make these. But again, it's like a whole aqua situation happening over there. Although that aqua, I think there's less of it. And I love the gray. The gray is really nice. So I went to the charity shop because the charity shops in Canada are just so good. And I love them because it's like treasure hunting and you don't know what you're going to find, and it's so much fun, and I couldn't resist. I'm really sorry. That's all. I'm going to stop apologizing about it because, like I said at the beginning, just because you made a goal doesn't mean there's any shame in failing completely at that goal. So, when I went to the charity shop, I found some Patton's Croy, which my friend on Instagram and a lovely podcaster called Rachel from Night Sky Knitting loves. And she can make a whole pair of socks out of one 50-gram ball of Patton's Croy. But she has tiny feet. So anyway, in the shop that's called Value Village, you get whatever you get. It comes in a bag. So it's like in a plastic bag that they've stapled shut. So you don't really get a choice of what other stuff is in there. But this bag came with 3 balls of patent squoy. I really love this one. I'm quite sad that it only had 1 ball. But I'm going to try and find a yarn to go with it to do heels, toes, and cuffs, and then it'll probably make a solid pair of socks. This is 2 balls, so it'll definitely make a pair of socks, and I'm really excited to make them. I think Holly's going to love these colors, so I'll probably make them for her. It's 75% wool and superwash wool and 25% nylon. And yeah, this comes with, it's 50 grams and it comes with, oh, this isn't very much meterage. This is only 152 meters. I don't know if that would make a pair of socks. If normal 420 and then half of it is 220, I think it probably still could. 210 is half of a ball of yarn. And usually I can almost make 2 pairs of socks out of a whole 100 grams. So yeah, it's probably fine. This is 50 grams, this one, and it doesn't say how many meters comes with it. Oh no, this one has 152 meters. I don't know why I thought these different balls of patent square would have different meterages. It's possible that this one has been used a bit, which will make the, yeah, I think it might have been, maybe, which will make the game of trying to make a pair out of this ball even more fun. That's the fun of Value Village. It makes yarn chicken even more exciting. So I got these because you can never have enough sock yarn. And then I've been wanting to make some dishcloths for a while, like some tea towels. And they had this cotton that it's Bernat cotton, and it's, I thought it said it was made out of, oh, I don't know. I thought it said it was organic or that it was recycled. But anyway, it was from Value Village. So I got these 5 balls. I actually got 6 balls, but one of them I didn't like the color. And I'll tell you what I did with it. It's very exciting. But anyways, so I got these to make some Pearl Soho washcloths and tea towels. I'll share the patterns I'm planning to use. I'm really excited to cast these on weirdly, but I've been too excited about other things, and so I haven't quite gotten to it. But this is worsted weight cotton, 100% cotton, and this is Country Red. It's Bernat Handcrafter cotton. This is Tangerine, and I think these are 2 different dye lots because now I'm here in this light. I can tell they're different. They look different, but doesn't matter. It's all just going to be for. It's for the purposes of washcloths, so it won't make a difference. But I think these are pretty colors, and this is so I've got 2 balls of this one and 2 balls of this one, and I think I might try and make those like half and half ones. I think that'd be really cute with these, and I think this also fits in nicely. This is a slightly different one. It's Georgia Promo Cotton Blend, 95% cotton and then 5% polyester. And but it's the same weight, and it's got like a little bit of, it's got like some, you can't really see it, it's got like some sort of reddish almost heathering to it. Yeah, I don't think you can really see it. So let's see now if you can see the heathering on here. Yeah, there's like here you can see a little bit of the almost heathering. It's not quite, but anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, worsted weight cotton. I'm gonna make some tea towels. Really excited. Didn't need to buy this in Canada and have to bring it all home with me, but never mind. That's going to be a bed full of yarn in a moment. So, the next thing I want to tell you about is there's a shop here in Calgary called Good Neighbor, and it's a free charity shop, so it's for people who are in need and need clothing. They can come in and they can take what they need, and then other people who maybe like need stuff but they can pay a little bit, they can pay, so you basically pay what you want, and then people who can afford clothing can like pay a little bit more and they can donate things, and you can also come in and just give stuff and then take stuff. So I found the other day a new thing, which is like a free Fibre library, and it's just a little special little spot where people bring in yarns and you can take them. It's all free. It's like a little Fibre swap that's always going on in this shop. So I didn't go crazy. I was very good, and I was very proud of myself for being good, because I didn't want to take stuff for free when, like, I paid for it anyways. But anyways, I didn't take very much, but I just couldn't resist. There's this tiny little thing of worsted weight blue sky fibers, and it's 100% fine Highland wool, 10 meters of it, and it is worsted weight. Color is Red Rock from Blue Sky Fibers. And I just thought it was really beautiful, and I'm thinking of making the circumference sweater by Lily Kate, and it uses like tiny amounts of worsted weight colors for the color work. So I thought I could maybe use this, but it might not actually even be enough to do a tiny piece of color work. So maybe I'll take it back to the free Fibre library, because maybe I don't need it. Then I got this, which I'm so excited about. It looks like someone's oddball. And that's another great thing you can do with your oddballs, is you can take them to a charity shop, or you can put them maybe on like Instagram and see if anyone needs that color or that thing or wants it. Give them away. It's a great option. This is just a gorgeous color. I can never pass up like a dusty rose when I see one. It's just so hard. So, and this also had the ball band in it, which was very exciting. So this is by A Verb for Keeping Warm, naturally dyed fiber and yarn. The color here is Red Pear. It's 70% superfine alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. It's fingering weight, and the dyes that used in it are madder and logwood. So I'm so excited about this. What I want to make with it is a shell bra by Naked Knit. Now I have no idea how much is in here, and I don't know if that'll be enough, but I'm gonna try, because I think this would make it's luxuriously soft. It would make just the cutest shell bra, I think. So that's my plan for this. The other ball of cotton that I didn't like, I brought to the free Fibre library and left there. And I might have some more things to take to the free Fibre library. But first, let me show you what I got for my birthday. Holly and I weren't going to do presents for our birthdays this year because we're getting married. But then I was having a really bad week. And so she sent me a gift card to Stash Needle Lounge. So I got some Briggs & Little because it's Canadian and it's cheap, and I really want to make the Be Thankful cardigan by Lily Kate. So I got 5 skeins of this, Briggs & Little Heritage. It's worsted weight 2-ply, and this is like a marled, so one is like a gray and the other is like a cream color. And I'm going to make the Be Thankful cardigan, which is a pretty simple, basic cardigan. I just think it's really beautiful, and I'm really excited to have another cardigan because I have one and I actually wear it a lot. So that's what I got. I got 5 of these little hunkers, and it's really affordable. It's $8 Canadian for a ball of this, and it's 100% non-superwash, really rustic yarn, milled in Canada, pure wool. It is 196 meters for this, which is, I think it's 100 grams. No, they do 113 grams, which is a strange quantity. But anyways, I just think it's beautiful and I'm so happy. And then I got that, and it wasn't my whole gift card. And they had this BC Garn Semilla Mélange on sale for $7 a skein. And originally I was thinking of making the thin air sweater in this, and then I saw the veil was also on sale. So I got this, and I got the veil. And then the last thing I got from my birthday present was one skein on final sale. Everything I got was on sale, apart from this Briggs & Little, which is just really affordable yarn anyways. BC Garn Lino, which I used to make my drawstring cami in like a silver color. I got it in this color, which is... the color is... 41, maybe? I can't quite tell. I don't know if it's under here. No. Yeah, I think it's either 41 or this color, 102. Maybe it's 102. It's 100% linen, and it looks really almost like garden twine, but when it washes, it softens up a lot, and with wear, it softens up. So I'm thinking of using this for the cuffs of my thin air sweater. That's my concept. However, the woman in the shop showed me this amazing yarn that was like silk and everything. And I was like, well, I mean, that's perfect, but it was like the same price as the whole of the jumper would have been, just for this one skein of yarn to use on the cuffs. And I was like, I just don't know about that. So that was my birthday present from Holly, which I shouldn't have got, didn't need, but I loved so much and appreciated, and made my whole week when she sent it to me early because I was having a bad week. And then I actually went back and got myself this bag because I just love it. It has great straps. Look at those straps. And it says, Beaches and Bouches, this is a little knitting club. And Holly and I, for some reason, really enjoy saying Beaches and Bouches. Beaches and Bouches. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing. So today, I went to the charity shops again. I couldn't resist, and I did. So I'll show you what I got. I went to quite a few, but I only found things in 2 that I actually bought. So I resisted a lot. This was my Value Village haul. So this was $1.99. I haven't opened it yet, but it looks like sock yarn to me, and it's gray. So I thought it would go really well with this ball of yarn. So time to open it. I'm gonna make a mess because I can. So I've got no idea what this is. It's definitely unused. There's some serious yarn guts in the middle there. It feels really soft. I mean, it could be acrylic. It's definitely soft in that way. Let me try. Yeah, I think that's acrylic. That feels acrylic-y. Just from how it breaks. But I think you can also burn it to test it. It's very, very soft. So I don't know, but I think this will probably go to the Fibre library. I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. So that was one. Here is another. $1.99 for this ball of scraps. And the reason I got it was this thing. I think it might make nice sleeves on the thin air sweater if I don't use that purple color. So this looks like a slubby cotton. That's definitely going to go to the Fibre library. This looks like a little leftover acrylic, Fibre library. This looks like some baby yarn. Yeah, it's definitely acrylic. I was thinking it might be cute as like toes and cuffs with this, like some sort of rainbowy thing with like a really gray thing, but I think I'm gonna let someone else do that. Here's another little leftover ball of acrylic, worsted weight acrylic, and this is like a softer, tweedier acrylic. Here is a black, very soft. Yeah, my guess is acrylic. But this was what I was interested in. This is really, really similar to what Lily uses in the pattern. It's like almost a tape yarn, and it's really thin. So I'm not sure if it'll go with it. That was what I wasn't sure about. I kind of think it won't. That's too bad. I think this is really similar to what she uses in the pattern. I think it's also probably too thick, maybe. So never mind. I'm quite happy to like spend $1.99 and get a bunch of stuff for people to use in the Fibre library. So here's another $1.99. This is 2 balls of not totally new balls, but 2-ply jumper yarn from Jamieson and Smith. And this is a 25-gram ball. Some of it's been used, so definitely less than 25 grams, and it's in this like rich, dark, petrol-y blue color. And then the other one that came with it was this Jamieson. So it's not Jamieson's and Smith, it's a different company. It's Jamieson's, and it is Shetland Spindrift. So this one feels more like it's the whole ball. It's only a 25-gram ball. So there's this deep blue and this deep sort of maroony, rusty, browny color. And then another $1.99 later, I got these. A little top tip for you when you're thrift shopping for yarn. When it's caked up, it's more likely to not be acrylic than not. So this is more Jamieson and Smith's. And I know that. How do you know that, you might ask? Well, first it says that here, Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper. But actually, I saw it on this one, which still has the ball band in it. So this says jumper weight, 2-ply Shetland yarn, wool and wicker from Jamieson and Smith, direct from the Shetland Islands. So I have enough, and I think what I'm gonna do is I made my dad a colorwork hat a while ago, many years ago, from some Scottish wool, and it has I think it has moose. It's a moose pattern, so it's like a dark gray hat with a light gray moose going around. And I thought And he had just mentioned to me that it needed mending because he's worn a hole through it. Anyone else ever worn a hole through a hat? He's like, oh yeah, it needs darning. But I thought, look at all this random assortment of, I think, very, very like works together colors of Jamieson & Smith's 2-ply Shetland yarn. Totally great hat concept. So I could do like a full-on Shetland colorwork hat with these, and I think it would be amazing. So I think that's probably going to be my father's Christmas present. And I got that for $4. Scraps of Jamieson & Smith's yarn. So I'm pleased with that. I think the only things that won't go together is these colors aren't different enough, and maybe these two colors. So they'll have to pretend to be one another. They won't be able to like contrast with one another, I think. But I'm gonna try and do like a proper Fair Isle thing where there's like stripes of different things as well as like color work. So I think that should be fine. So this is really why I couldn't resist podcasting today, right now. Because I got this in Goodwill, and Goodwill, now Value Village does bags, but Goodwill does huge bags, so you have to commit. It's like, look at the size of this bag. And it's like, I don't want to just buy this. I'm fine spending $1.99 for one ball that I was interested in to open it up and see, oh, I don't actually want it. I've just lost $1.99. And I've gained like 6 random balls of yarn. I'm not going to keep them. I'm going to give them to the Fibre library because that would be very stressful. But I'm fine with that. But these are like $15, $18 bags of yarn, and they've got huge amounts of stuff in them. However, this bag is golden. Almost everything in here is in a skein, and I was able to read some of the labels, and they're definitely wool and not acrylic. So I decided we're going to open this together and find out what I got, because it's kind of hard to tell. It's like properly like taped as well, because they don't want people like ripping into it to check feel what it feels like. And I kind of get that, but at the same time, like, come on guys, we're buying yarn. We want to be able to feel it. Why does it have to be behind plastic? Behind plastic bars. Okay, let's start with this one because it wants to come out. So, this is so exciting. It's like a little Christmas. So this was $15 for the whole bag. So let's see what we got. First up, we have Local Color Fibre Studio, naturally dyed yarns and fibers. This is 100% border Leicester, grown in Sequim, Washington, milled by Insouciant Fibers. Sport DK weight, 250 yards, 100 grams. Bainbridge Island, grown and gathered, sustainably produced and recycled fibers. Indigo dyed. I mean, that's probably your $15 right there. I hate to be braggy about it, but this feels, it says it's border Leicester. It's definitely nothing like Blueface Leicester. It feels very rough. The color, though, is just phenomenal. Like, there's variation in it. It doesn't look as marled as it's looking on the screen. That's, I think, just, it looks like quite a long, in a way it looks alpaca-y in its like fiber length. It's not springy, for sure. I don't think. I mean, yeah. But it's very rustic, and dyed with indigo, so it's just beautiful. I suppose if I wanted, I could probably, well, this is sport or DK weight. I think it's probably DK. So how cool is this? I mean, these are all gorgeous balls of yarn, I think. Next, we have Fleeced Artist, Minville, Nova Scotia. 70% merino, 30% sea cell, 350 meters. So this is superwash merino with something called sea cell, which I'm not sure what that is. But this is like a lovely gray. I guess it's like a heavy sock yarn. It's a really pretty color. So that's gonna make some gorgeous socks for sure. It's tonal for sure. I think it's hand dyed. Doesn't have the best skeining happening, so let's reskein it. This is so fun. I mean, look at that. That is quite tonal. It's definitely super washy. You can see that. Whee! It's very plump. It's very superwash merino-y. Look at that sheen, that superwash sheen. Next up, look at this color. Okay, so this is 100% blue-faced Leicester. It's lace weight, and it's from Spin Cycle. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not like the Spin Cycle, like it's one color for sure. It's debauchery lace weight, 100% blue-faced yet Leicester, 500 yards per skein. Lust colorway. That's so cool. I got a skein of Spin Cycle yarn. I'm so excited. So we got sock yarn, we got a sport weight rustic yarn that's naturally dyed, and we've got a skein of beautiful color lace weight Spin Cycle. And now I'm discovering I've got this whole lace weight mojo going on here. This is probably my least favorite in terms of colorways. It's a very soft. Oh, so this is a sock. It's a very soft sock. It's String Theory Colorworks Continuum, 80% merino, superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So that's why it's so soft. Oh, but it's a self-striping. So we got white, navy, red, navy, gray, navy. Oh, that's gonna be really cool. Lovingly hand dyed. So this is hand dyed cashmere merino self-striping. I mean, I am amazed. I almost feel bad sharing this because I feel like I'm just bragging, and it's like I should just be quiet and stop telling people all the great things that are coming out of this bag. Okay, I'm gonna stop thinking that way because that's a pointless thought process. You can stop watching if you don't like it. I'm sorry that I found such a cool thing, but I'm so excited about it. This is like very soft. This is like that level of soft where you're like, is this acrylic? But no, I guess it is the cashmere. But people say that if it's less than 10%, you can't feel it. And so I always interpret that to mean that like you can't feel it if it's 10% cashmere, but I guess the 10% like is enough to feel. But less than, if it says it's like 5% cashmere, it's probably, you can't even tell. That's what I've heard. I don't really know. But this you can definitely, it feels softer than superwash, for sure. It's definitely like, I don't know, these colors scream like 4th of July to me. I guess because they're red, white, and blue. I guess they could be nautical, but I'm certain someone will absolutely love these socks when I make them. Okay, next we've got Classy Worsted Dream Christmas Vacation, 340 yards. It is 100% superwash merino. This is 250 yards, but that says 360. I guess this is because it's 6 ounces. So here's the colors. So I guess this is hand dyed. Yeah, this is hand dyed yarn, Dream in Color yarn. So this is Classy Worsted Dream in color. This is a pretty cool colorway. I would definitely make someone a pretty nice hat in this. I like this. I like this for a hat. I think it's a beautiful skein. It reminds me of Malabrigo, actually, these colors. Gorgeous. So this is worsted weight. And yeah, I think it's gonna become a hat. This is like, I've done all my Christmas shopping basically in this bag, because this is just gonna be a bunch of Christmas presents for people. Oh. So this is heavyweight superwash merino. It's called Socks That Rock. But it's pretty thick. It's definitely at least DK. Blue Moon Fibre Arts. Colorway is henpecked. And this is bouncy. This yarn feels bouncy. I think it must be like really high twist. It says sock gauge 6 stitches per inch. But it's 350 yards for 7 ounces. Whereas this here is 340 yards for 6 ounces, and this claims it's a worsted. So I'd say this is a worsted as well. I reckon this is destined to become, do you know what? I kind of want this as a top. It's superwash merino. I just, for some reason, something tells me make a top in this. I want to make myself like, I don't know, one of these tops that people wear under things. Maybe I'll try the ripple bralette. I haven't tried it yet. Yeah, something's telling me make me into a top. It's not particularly but it just feels really bouncy. I think that's why I'm thinking top. Worsted weight. I would say this is worsted weight, right? This has that superwash like slipperiness, whereas this doesn't. And I don't know if that's because of the twist or because of the fact that it has more, maybe it has more, I think it's a much higher twist and it has more plies than this. But it could also be like the dyeing process. But yeah, this is cool. This is like proper like fluffy, lush. Okay, the last one. This was such a fun bag. I'm sad it's over. This is LGF Suri, and oh, look at the color on this. This yarn can be brushed after finishing to raise a furry surface. Huh. So you can get even more of a halo. It's already got a bit of a halo. So this is Suri sock. Oh, I can make alpaca socks. This is indigo, the colorway. I don't know if it's dyed with indigo or if it's just the colorway is indigo. A Suri sock, fingering weight 3-ply, 55% Suri alpaca, 30% wool, and 15% nylon. Softness, warm, color, durability, luster. It doesn't give you any information on the yardage, but it says sock. Looks like a fingering weight. I'm assuming it's enough to make socks, so these will definitely become socks because amazing. I mean, amazing. You know what'd be really cute is using this just for the cast on this pair of socks. Just for the cast on. I know it's only 10 meters, so that's all you'd get out of it. So I mean, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. I'd say the Value Village finds were probably, apart from that Shetland, the Shetland hat. So just to review, we've got a Shetland colorwork hat for my dad for Christmas. We've got a pair of 4th of July socks for someone. I mean, these ones could actually even be for my friend Jacob. They've got cashmere in them. I don't know. A pair of socks for someone who might want socks. They'd be good for a man or a woman. A hat for someone for Christmas. Maybe my cousin. Another pair of socks in a beautiful gray color. They might end up being Holly's because she loves gray. And you could do so much fun stuff with it. Bright contrast heel, toe, and cuff. Love a gray sock yarn. I forget what this even is. Oh, lace weight. I don't know what this is going to become. Maybe a t-shirt for me. It's gorgeous. Spin cycle. Pair of alpaca socks in this gorgeous indigo blue. That'll be for someone. Maybe me. A top for me. Especially because it says rock. I don't know. Something about this really appeals to me. And then this sport weight indigo yarn, which I think would make really good color work. So, maybe I could use this as a base and use the Shetland wool held double to make a hat for my dad instead of just the Shetland wool. But it doesn't feel right. I think it'd be fun to make just the Shetland wool. So I'm not sure what this could become, actually. It's a gorgeous color, but it's almost verging on maybe slippers. It's almost verging on, what's the word? Carpet wool level of roughness. And it's sport weight. I suppose you could just make some sport weight socks. I've been meaning to make my dad some socks, actually. And he would love this color. So maybe I could make him some sport weight socks. I think this yarn would hold up well. And he usually wears this level of roughness on his woolly socks. So maybe I could make these into socks for him. I mean, it's exciting stuff, folks. And I'm really happy that I have some stuff to bring to the Fibre library. Got a nice big ball of sock yarn, some random bits. This I think would pair well with socks. Some bits of worsted weight. And I think that will be really nice for some free bits and pieces. And you never know what someone might want or need. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And I hope you have a really nice time and that you're doing well. And I hope you are enjoying some knitting time. And if not, I hope you get to enjoy some knitting time soon. So carry on and knit fearlessly on. I will see you next time. And I will do that thing about my favorite knit camisoles. But again, I feel this was a long one. Oh, and I've been thinking about maybe doing some kind of a weekly knit along on my Discord. So if anyone is interested in that and has a specific time or day that would work really well for them, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any thoughts on anything else that I mentioned today, let me know in the comments below. It's always really nice to hear from you, and I love responding to your comments and reading them. So I will hopefully talk to you soon. If you want to give me a follow on Instagram, I'm at Naomi Joy Knits, and my Gmail is njknitspodcast. So until next time, see you later.